What's going on, guys? Y'all are gonna be surprised about this one. Let me tell you. Very shocked. Some of you might even scream, blasphemy! But I don't care. I get to breathe and wake up and have another day. I get to have two beautiful boys. I get to have a house that's mine. I get to have cars. I get to have an amazing, loving wife. I get to have careers. I get to have friends and family. And I get my health. And I get to talk about fragrances late at night and be me and be free to whatever I would like to do. All things I don't deserve. And I don't know why I brought that up. It's just on my mind. Your whole life, you will be challenged to not be who you are. As you get older, you become a kid, you're starting to get older, starting to make your way in life. People question you. People laugh at you. People try to convince you not to be you, or that being you will have consequences, negative impact on your life. And so you'll spend a majority of your childhood and even your young adult life being challenged to either be you or be what the world wants you to be, or to be neither and be miserable in kind of nothingness where you're safe, but you're not you, you're not interesting. If you make it through that challenge and you finally decide to be you, the question is, how much of you will you be? Because just when you start to find out who you really are, you change. You evolve, you grow, you age. Life hits you harder and harder and harder, and you grow. And so the question then becomes, if you make it to that point, you've done a great thing. Now you're being you. Then you're challenged, how far you are you willing to be? Because are you willing to be you who's always changing, evolving, and growing, and being into different things, having successes, having failures, being sure, then being unsure? Are you willing to take all of that with you and be transparent and open and honest and okay with everything that comes with being a risk taker, somebody who wants to have a quality life? And then if you do finally make it through that challenge, it is a lifelong fight because nothing's ever easy. When you're different, when you ask more questions than you should, when you want more out of life than the average, everybody who doesn't live that way will make you feel like you got it all wrong. Fragrances. Sometimes you think you've got fragrances figured out, and then they start to talk to you. And you build connections with fragrances you really shouldn't. Fragrances that deep in your journey make you go, how the heck did I fall in love with this? Why is this connecting to me of all things? That is this fragrance right here. This is blasphemy in a lot of ways. I tell you guys to stay away from this house. Mont Blanc, to me, is known for making cheap fragrances. And even the good ones that they make are sharp, lack texture, and just, quite honestly, are very redundant in the space. Yet this one really spoke to me. You probably thought all my memoirs would be on niche fragrances, but they're not. This fragrance symbolizes the reality that anyone at any price point from any walk of life can have a little taste of the good life. Because I feel expensive when I wear this. I feel niche when I wear this. I feel like this complements my personality. It uplifts me. It gives me confidence. It gives me curiosity. Everything a man wants. Rugged, raw adventure and the courage to do it. Without talking about notes, this is, to me, a masculine and or unisex floral aromatic fragrance. You look on Fragrantica, it tells you it's warm and spicy. It's not warm at all. It's quite cold, actually, hence the blue lighting. I get minty, spearminty, cooling sensations when I wear this. I always say this is the fragrance you want to wear if you drive a Bugatti, Grey Jag, anything like that. It's an executive style fragrance. It is a casually boss type of fragrance. It is, it's like effortless masculinity. Has all the soft and rough edges you want. It's got the softness, the airiness, the coolness, the freshness. Women want men that smell fresh. And yet it's got this swagger, this bravado to it that just feels executive, business. And if it's not in the business world, it makes you feel confidently and sophisticatingly casual. Meaning even in your everyday bop, you're going somewhere in life. You got things to do, people to see, places to go. I love it, man. I don't know all the notes. Top, I know there's spices, cardamom, maybe sage, ginger. All these things that really lift and give this crispy, open top. A little bit of green apple, I think, in the heart. This beautiful heliotrope note. Man, when it comes to florals, I'm a fan of heliotrope. Smells just like the juice. Ice cold Arctic. It's this kind of Arctic masculine floral. Even more masculine to me than Musk Therapy from Initio Parfums, which I think is saying something. I think that fragrance is perfectly unisex. That fragrance lacks the bravado, the nuts and bolts of masculinity, but it can be masculine. It's just a more soft approach to the masculine nature. Solid fragrance, performs well. It's not nuclear. Projects beautiful. This is like a 3-foot scent bubble supreme. Mid-range, I call it a mid-range jumper. You can get this fragrance $15-20 for 50 ml, it seems like. Oh my gosh, absolute steal. If you're a man, you got to own this fragrance. If you're a kid that wants to be a man, you got to have this fragrance. I think I haven't thought much through this, but I think it could transform on a woman because it just has this elegant airiness to it. It's spritzy, it's confident, it's uplifting, it's just everything you want in a fragrance, man. I think the base is like, I don't know. The apple isn't super appley, it's just like this crisp, fresh, airy, cold appleness. But you don't really think it's an apple fragrance. It feels dominantly floral and aromatic. Base, I think it's like amber and tonka bean. I think that's probably why they call it a warm spicy. It's got the cardamom and all that up top, and then the base has got the amber, so you immediately think amber on skin gets warm spicy. I don't get that. I get cold. It's a dope fragrance, man. The fact that you can get this at that price point is criminal. because like I said, I feel niche when I wear it. I wear it to work. I wear it running errands. I wear it on a rainy day, on a hot day, but I still want to be fresh and stay indoors. I'm going to wear this. I mean, it's just everything you want. I mean, it's almost, you know, you guys like your white, your musk therapies and your summer minks and, you know, your white floral musks and your slight vanilla musks and your Eros. Even Eros has some green apple, I think vanilla. It's got a minty feel, lavender even, maybe. You know, Gucci Guilty Elixir, stuff like that. This has got more personality, more swag. It's not vanilla. It's not anchoring itself on vanilla. You know, tonka bean, sure, but you know, that's a soft edge sweetness. You know what I'm saying? It's more about the aromatics, and the aromatics drive that masculinity, and the floral touch softens up that typically brash approach that people use to aromatics, and the sweetness and the amber and the apple just kind of give it some normalcy. Timeless. Any season, any reason for me. Business casual, semi-formal. I would make an excuse for it to be formal. I would make an excuse for it to be casual, but I think the sweet spot is upscale casual to semi-formal to business casual, business formal, whatever. Amazing fragrance, incredible fragrance. Mont Blanc gave me hope with this fragrance, you know. Before then it was like Starwalker, and Starwalker's cool, but this is way more than Starwalker. And then this fragrance even catapulted me into the signature line from Mont Blanc, or the private line, or whatever they'll refer to it as. This fragrance is just awesome, guys. Definitely put me on to heliotrope as like, okay, this is a floral I can work with. For those of you who are new to heliotrope, it kind of has this violet leafy type of powderiness. It's like slight powder, more airy. It's got this white purple kind of floral touch to it, you know, where it's like very slightly sweet, slight powdery, but mostly airy and fresh. It's got swag and personality to it. That's why I like it. You know, normally white florals just kind of freshen or soften up fragrance, but this seems to have a distinct character to it. It's just a banger, man. I mean, what can I say? It's a cheapy banger that I feel uncomfortable calling it a cheapy, because if you gave this, you know, a day 3 bottle, an initio bottle, this is the caliber of fragrance you'd expect to come out of a bottle like that. You know, it deserves more. You know, the dent doesn't lie. I got about 40 mil gone in that thing. But I've worn it a lot. Been wearing it for a couple years now. And the only reason the bottle's not already gone is because I have so many fragrances. A 40 ml dent on my several hundred bottle collection is substantial. And when I wear a fragrance, I'm reviewing the fragrance, I'm being critical, I'm being very intentional. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference between somebody who goes to the gym every day versus somebody who goes to the gym and specifies what muscle groups they want to work on, how their diet's impacting it. You know, just it's a different type of wear when I wear a fragrance. So I put that 40 mil to very intentional use and really sat in my experience with this fragrance, and I just think it's phenomenal. It deserves a memoir. It really does. I wish I could say more about it, but let's talk masculinity for a second. I love when a fragrance, I think the sweet spot for universal mass appeal for a masculine fragrance is something that's ultra fresh, slightly sweet, but just as much driven by masculine touches. I don't care if it's aromatics, I don't care if it's green, I don't care if it's woody, you know, whatever. I love that this doesn't anchor on sweetness, but it's slightly sweet. I love that it's not so aromatic it feels fougere or old school. It feels completely modern. I love the textural three-dimensionalness with the cooling mint spritz, and then it's got the air, so it's got the spritz from the ginger and the spice and the airy coolness. All of that's contributing, and then the aromatics driving the masculinity, and then that glue of sweet amber in the base. It is just sweet spot. You know, there's a reason why Eros is as popular as it is, and Sauvage is as popular as it is, and Bleu de Chanel and Armani Code, Absolute and stuff like that. You know, they just so perfectly balance that masculinity with that sweet, attractive appeal to women with the freshness and textural components of aromatics. And this just does a masterful job with that. It almost gets sharp, but it's not. It's got that soft touch on it, and that's what makes it still feel niche. The blend feels almost completely smooth. You know, it's like 90% perfect. And that little edginess that it has up top, I attribute to the texture of it, you know, the aromatics and all that stuff. So it doesn't even come off synthetic or too sharp or anything like that. It just comes out, it's like aggressively soft-spoken, if that makes sense. Amazing fragrance, 10 out of 10. If you have the opportunity, you can get this anywhere. Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx, Nordstrom Rack, any of your favorite places, pick one. You'll find it there. Any of your online places, retailers, 15 to 25 bucks, get 50 mil, probably for up of the $25, $30 range. You might even snag up 100 mil. I know I'll replace this bottle. This bottle will stay on my shelf for life. It's just effortlessly perfect to me. I think you guys should give it another try if you've tried it. You know, put on like 10 sprays of this sucker and just go nuts. Just bask in the glory of it. And see how confident you feel. See how uplifted you feel. See how interesting you feel. It's got almost that eucalyptus feel, like how that Seraphim blue, like this kind of like, not necessarily mentholic. It doesn't feel medicinal at all, but just that effervescent, sparkly, not sparkly, effervescent, sparkly, or come on, man, you're doing a memoir. It's got that effervescent, cooling, somewhat mentholic, you know, cooling sensation. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting the pillow at night when you got the cooling gel on it. I love those pillows. You got the memory foam and then a little bit of either cooling material or cooling gel where it's just like this airy, pillowy, you know, you can fall asleep with this fragrance and just, you know, it's a great one, man. Mont Blanc Presence. Mont Blanc Presence. Incredible fragrance and well deserving of this chat. I wish I could say more, but I try to stay true to form, you know, and only say what comes to my mind. And I hope this drives you to appreciate life, to be honest with what fragrances speak to you. Don't be afraid of what other people think. Double down on who you are and what speaks to you in life, because what you get out of that is living within your purpose, seeing that life is bigger than you, and becoming the type of person who can give things to the world that the world needs. You know, there can only be one you. So why should you look like someone else?